Well, thank you for agreeing to sit down and do this.
No problem. I like this next question. What is your favorite spot?
Yeah.
I don't mind the cash register. I don't mind price. Anywhere's fine.
Yeah.
I always tell Taylor, wherever you need me.
Very flexible. You put the words flexible and adaptable on your resume, but it's not just a word on a piece of paper. It's something that you actually have to do and practice what you preach.
Yeah. I actually felt really important yesterday because Victoria, who used to price with me,
Yep.
her contract ended or whatever. And he looked at me and he says, God, well, should we keep her? Should we bring her back? I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, she's not afraid to get her hands dirty. She does what I do in the morning. I come and I find out what labels I need, and she just jumps right in. You don't have, she's just all there. And
Yeah. So you were involved in the decision-making process.
I think so. He goes, well, I'll definitely tell him that. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
I said, people like that are hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple back there and they were like, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Were they just normal volunteers or like workforce?
I think they were
volunteers?
workforce because
Okay.
one of them, she was through like a workforce, but she wasn't worth a hill of beans. And she really didn't want to do a lot of work. And there was times he came in and she was on her phone and he's like,
Yeah.
But
Especially when you've it's not a perfectly safe place back there. Like you gotta watch what's going on, different equipment. You don't wanna, you need to be careful back there.
yeah, and then we had one of them that she always walked with a cane. She had a limp or whatever, but she would always,
see everybody.
and she'd be like holding knives and stuff, pricing them and falling asleep. And I'm like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
So, I'm sorry. Have a good afternoon.
Stop apologizing.
I know, but I feel a little bad.
Now I have to go home. I have to put on my sweatpants and sit
Yeah.
in the comfort of my own house.
no.
Work, but I'm gonna work more comfortable. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Brian, remind me when you started volunteering, how many years ago?
About 10 years ago.
Gotcha. And that was at this restore?
Yep.
Gotcha. What was your first spark, or why did you want to start volunteering here?
My mom and I actually came here shopping, and I saw somebody filling out a white piece of paper, and so I saw Amanda Fear at that time. She was doing all the hiring, and so I asked, and she's like, oh, they're filling out volunteers. So I got one, filled it out, and she called me up like 3 days later and said, do you want to volunteer? Boom.
Nice. Well, when you were volunteering, how was it different your first few months versus what you do now?
When I first started, I was like just taking donations in, and then I'm going like on pickups, and then we got a new cash register, so I told Steve at that time that I wanted to learn it, and he's like, why? And I said, because you don't really have a lot of people that can do it.
Yeah.
And so I learned that, and then I started pricing, and presto. So now I just do whatever, I come in, I'm like, usually just head to the back unless Taylor says, Brian?
Right. So how have you, because obviously there's been changes in staffing and different volunteers, how have you seen the Restore or Habitat in general grow in the 10 years that you've been involved?
A lot in the quality of what we take in, and a lot of the volunteers now are all like hands-on and they're eager to work, and it shows. We've had some that were like, oh, I really don't want to do much, I sit and
Yeah.
But the volunteers now are all hands-on and good communication, which helps.
Yeah, certainly. Are there certain volunteers that come to mind for you that you have really good relationships or good rapport with?
Taylor, Katie, Heather,
That's
Stan.
all staff.
Yeah.
Stan, yeah.
Stan, Jerry, Mary. I can go on and on. Victoria's good, RJ's good, Ron's good. We just got an excellent crew.
Good. Is there, in your time volunteering, Brian, is there an accomplishment or something you did that makes you really proud?
I got the 5,000 hours, and I remember you talking to Kaya saying you don't know what to work on next. So I told Kaya 10,000 hour plaque.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm not here for just awards. I just like to help out and meet the public and help them out and know that what we bring in all goes back out into the community.
Yeah. The Habitat for Humanity focuses on affordable housing primarily. Is there something about our mission or our values that really resonates with you?
Yeah, because when I first started, I think we were only doing like 3 houses a year, and now we're up to like 6 and 7. So that lets me know that the public is realizing what we're here for, and we have great products at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, yeah. Brian, is there a time you made a mistake volunteering or something that you learned from?
Not really that I can think of.
Good work.
Yeah. Yeah, not that I can think of that I ever made any mistakes. I might have, but if I did, they're few and far between.
Yeah, yeah. For someone that would be volunteering in the Restore for the first time, what advice or guidance would you give them?
Don't be afraid to meet the public and just help out the customers if they need it. Ask customers if they're finding everything all right, and talk to people. Don't be shy. You can meet a lot of good friends here, and we do a lot of great things here. We have a lot of, award banquets and bashes that we do together, and it's just a fun place to work.
Yeah, certainly. What's a favorite from one of the, say, our Loggers game? Did you see the picture in the break room where you threw the first pitch?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see that put up? Is there a specific event you can think of that you have a really fond memory of?
I like going to the Logger game. I like the awards banquet. That's fun. You get to go to the park and meet the public and watch a good baseball game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like the Logger game one.
What was it like to throw the first pitch?
That's what
Paint a
awesome.
picture for me.
Oh, it was, when the first time I threw it, it was just a phenomenal feeling to get up on that mound and throw a first pitch and not hit the grass before you hit the pitcher or the catcher.
Yeah.
But it's great, and when you throw the first pitch, then they give you the ball you threw, and
Yeah.
so now Kaya, she told me, I said, if you need somebody next, she goes, no, I have your number. You're not getting away.
Good, good. You said in the Restore, people shouldn't be afraid to ask questions or help customers. What's the weirdest question you've gotten from a customer before in the Restore?
Walking out and being in my Restore shirt and hat, and actually had people ask me if I work here.
Yeah.
Do you work here? Yeah. Or can you lower the price? If it's not on sale. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But one of the other weirdest questions I had a guy come in, he wanted doors. And he asked if I could hold them. I said, well, if you purchase them. He go, oh, you mean I gotta buy them before you hold them? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what sort of volunteer work do you do now back in the recycling room, or like what keeps you busy each day?
pricing, if I run out of stuff to price, I either help out in the donation area or I help RJ and start taking stuff apart and recycle. But yeah, I just keep myself busy.
Nice.
It's awesome. It's a great place. My mom's even said it. You just miss going to the Restore. I said, yes, I do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we certainly appreciate having you. Everyone is always so positive, too.
Yeah, you got to have a good attitude, a positive attitude. If you come in and something's, you got other problems in the world, you got to leave it behind because you can't change it when you go to work.
Right.
And it shows, you can always tell. You can just look at somebody and go, oh, something's not right. you know. But
Yeah. Brian, do you feel like, based on these questions here, is there something I haven't asked you or something you would also want to bring up or make sure to highlight?
not really. If I need anything, Taylor's already told me, you need something, let me know and I'll get it for you. So
Yeah. Have you had a chance to visit other restores?
yeah, we went to the Eau Claire restore with
Oh.
Steve and like 6 other ones, and we went to that, drove up there and went and saw their restore and how it was set up. And their building is a lot smaller than ours. And you know, at that time we had 2 aisles of tiles, and they had just a pallet with a few tiles on it. And I'm like, you know, you can just tell that tiles aren't, till we got rid of tiles, which was no big loss.
Yeah. Based on the size, of course, what else do you think about our restore makes it different or unique?
I like this store better than the one we had that was down by the Cass Street Bridge, because it was so small and everything was crammed. And this one it's wider, and we've revamped it, you know, and made extra aisles for more stuff to go out, and like all the trim and boards and stuff are all spaced out now, where you don't have to pick through and try and find stuff. It's just easier to shop.
Yeah. You go to some thrift stores, and like you said, it's literally a pile and you're literally digging. You guys do a good job downstairs of keeping everything organized.
We try. Some days are better than others. You know, like in the back, especially if people buy a lot of stuff and we're holding it, and then we got a lot of stuff coming in, it's hard to find spots to move because we don't have the space. But, you know, sooner or later it gets picked up.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else?
Not
Anything else you
of.
want to bring up? Cool. I think we should be ready to rock and roll then. Awesome.